Alright, now I've come home from a run yet again, and my body will be cold. Bought some stuff from the grocery store, so I'm gonna whip something up to eat. But I just came to realize a thing that I need to express, because if there's one thing that could be of help to someone sometime, it is this awareness that I have right now. I don't know who is going to help and when it's going to help someone. All I know is that it definitely can help someone in a like significantly more deep way, like meaningful way than just money or something like that. And the thing that I'm thinking about right now is breaking free from beliefs that you've like, how do I say it, that you've basically inherited from your parents. Beliefs that either they have instilled into your head by expressing words and behaviors directly towards you, or by them self-inflicting behaviors onto them, expressing things onto them, and you subconsciously interpret that as being part you as well, because you come from your two parents. That way, like, it must be applicable for you as well. So like, one thing that I've come to realize is, like, I've been self-sabotaging in a few different areas, and I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but I will not put the blame on either of my parents. I'm just saying that certain patterns, I can see where they are coming from right now, and I can see certain patterns and behaviors in myself that also come from things that I've seen from growing up, childhood, and all of that, which are not necessarily good. Then there are other things that are good as well. Like, everything isn't bad in this life. Like, and for that matter, everything bad comes with something good. Like, you can't just have bad, you need to have something good. So yeah, but that is something that is very important, because if you're currently feeling some sort of way, and you don't want to feel that way, one, you need to consciously redirect your thoughts and realize that these thoughts that you have in your head, they are not you. They are coming to you, but they are not you. Either they have been instilled into your head, or yeah, nonetheless, however they arrive to your head, to your brain space, hippocampus, or whatever contains information, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that they are thoughts, and thoughts don't really mean anything unless you give them meaning, unless you give them power, unless you give them emotion, unless you give them time, unless you give them attention. Then it will actually start to manifest itself into reality. And oh my god, now there's so many things in hindsight that I can pinpoint, things like that have manifested itself into reality that I've been thinking of, like negative things, now when I think of it. And it's just so, it's hilarious, because if you just thought positive things instead, if everything you thought were like of immense positivity, and when I say positivity, I don't necessarily mean that you need to have the biggest smile and ooh, 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 ooh all of the time. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that have thoughts that are rewarding you, that are beneficial to you. Don't have thoughts that ruin you or that are just against your favor? Like, how does it make sense to, like, why would you think in ways that affect you badly? Like, right out badly? Like, why would you think in a way that gives you less money, that makes you sick more often, that makes you feel worse about yourself, that makes the people that you care about feel worse, that like doesn't give you the same power to help out the people close to you, to your future kids? That is actually what popped up in my head, because I do not want to inflict the same things onto my kids that I've seen my parents go through or whatnot. I'm not saying my parents are bad. Definitely not. They've done their part in providing guidance as well. And at some point you are your own person. But having two parents with very different mentalities and both having their own, like, I'm not gonna say unhealed trauma, but yeah, they're unhealed traumas. Like, and I don't know what I think about the word trauma, because trauma is it's such a strong word. And trauma in of itself, like that word means that you give it power. It's traumatizing you. You give it power by the word. Like, it's not that you say they're an event that has happened to you. It's a traumatic event. Like, it's not just an event, it's a traumatic event. And a trauma, it's like the adjective from the subsequent consequences in your feelings by the event. A trauma. That means it negatively affects you, but it's just because you allow it to. If you wouldn't allow it to, like, it wouldn't be a thing called trauma. You wouldn't have trauma. So yes, trauma does exist the same way depression sort of does, but unless you allow it to exist in your head, it will not exist. And it's these small things that you give power to and they manifest themselves into reality. And I do not want to bring that onto my kids. Like, I've seen both my parents deal with this that I'm talking about right now. And I've somewhat dealt with it as well. Like, I've been feeling depressed, I've been feeling traumatized, I've been feeling this and that. The main difference is that now I'm aware of the things and I'm realizing that it doesn't really matter unless you give it power. Like, if you sit by yourself and dwell over it all day long, yeah, obviously you're gonna think about it, and obviously the seed is gonna grow, and it's gonna grow bigger and bigger until there's this huge monster inside your head, because that's all you're feeding. Like, you're feeding all your energy to this thought. But let's say that instead you would focus on the good things of your life that has happened to you. Then you'd feed those seeds instead. Then you'd feed your energy to that. Like, it honestly is very simple. I'm not gonna say it is easy, because it's something that I've just realized now. I've reread Think and Grow Rich now. I'm on chapter 4 or 5. Started reading a few days ago. And I've just been out in the sun reading now when I've had some time this weekend. When I've had some time, I've had plenty of time, but yeah. And that partly got me to realizing this. And then another thing, maybe not of too much significance to you, but I've just been through my first ever breakup. And yeah, I don't know how to feel about it, honestly. I'm not gonna go into details because, truth be told, it's between me and her. But let's say that I started by doing her wrong. She's a very, at least I thought she was a very pure woman, pure intended woman, kind hearted, supportive, and I still do think so, but just to a lesser extent than I previously did. And yeah, I did some things, betrayed her trust. She did some things to me, expressed her regret. I don't know if her regret was me reacting the way I did and I couldn't see her the same way as I previously did, or if she actually regretted the actions that led me to feel the way I did or get this gut feeling towards her. I'm unsure about that, but nonetheless, that's how I feel. And our relationship probably never will be the same. And she was aware of that, I was aware of that. I came to acceptance with it a few days ago, pretty much. But yesterday, she officially sent me a whole bunch of voice notes, like 20 minutes voice notes, and just yapped. And I mean, yeah, she blocked me after. It's the first time she's ever blocked me. So yeah, now I know it's real. She needs to move on. And yeah, as I said, I came to acceptance with it a few days ago. At least I thought. But then today, a lot of things just hit me. Some of which her, some of which my childhood, some of which my, like, early adolescence. Is that what it's called? Like, yes, so many different things hit me. And yeah, it's crazy. That's also one thing that made me think about this whole thing with trauma and thoughts and whatnot. And my brain is so foggy right now because I'm quitting nicotine. These are so low nicotine amount, or whatever it's called. Like, these are 1.5 milligrams each. Before, I used to consume about 200 milligrams a day, like in white format. If you have tobacco, 10 milligram is not that much, then you can do like 25. But yeah, 150 to 200 per day. And now I'm taking less than 15 per day. Yeah, so big steps. Brain is foggy. So might be a bit confusing how I talk. I also just noticed that my tone when I was talking was very intense. I was like this, instead of just taking a breath and letting it take the time it takes. But yeah, as I said, your thoughts will grow into way bigger things. Your thoughts will literally manifest themselves into reality. Like things that I discussed with my girl that we saw as jokes, both good things and bad things. Like in the span of a year, quite a few of these scenarios have literally played out to, like, with very accurate precision, honestly. And it's almost like it's scary because some things happen because you allow them to, by putting them into words, by accepting it into in your subconscious, and by not rejecting thoughts that shouldn't be there, by accepting thoughts that shouldn't be there, and by not putting thoughts, like just pushing in thoughts into your head that should be there, that like nurtures your beliefs, your mindset, your life, your relationships, and just fosters it, like essentially just beliefs that improves your life holistically. Like just the belief that this is a belief, that your beliefs will change your life. That is a belief. How you use it, can be used both for good and bad, but it's in a holistic sense. Like your mind, your thoughts is just a director, like a pointer. Like wherever you point your thoughts towards, your mind towards, that's where you'll go. If you point your mind constantly towards a specific place, a specific feeling, that's where you'll end up. And I just realized this because I thought that I wanted some things for a while, and yes, sure, I do, but I don't spend enough time with those thoughts. They might pop up here and there, but when you let all these other thoughts into your head that are of the most like utter irrelevance, like these thoughts that you should be sitting with, they just kind of, I'm not gonna say disappear or evaporate, but like they kind of just drift away into the entire abyss of your head. Like I don't know what's going on inside your heads, but sometimes I feel like my head is like this big fucking universe filled with so much shit, and the only real way that I can focus on things that I need to focus on is by actually having momentum and putting those things into work constantly, day in, day out, by not allowing myself to be bored. Because when I'm bored, when I'm not working, I feel so fucking stressed. I feel stressed the fuck out. Like that is why I don't even have a TV right now. I haven't even uploaded these videos on YouTube because, like, okay, not because I haven't uploaded on YouTube. One of the reasons as to that is because I haven't had the space to just sit with files, edit them. Like I've been on the go for the past 6 months. And 6 months, that's a lot of time, honestly. 6 months. I just had no structure at all. And prior to that, like, I was in a space where I couldn't really get certain stuff done. I'm not gonna say anything done, because that I definitely could, but certain stuff. And it's just crazy. I need to think more positively myself as well, because if I don't start to think more positively, this is another thought. If I don't start to think more positively, then my life will turn out bad. I was about to say, or then my life would have turned out like this or that. That's another thought that I caught myself like in this very moment. Like if I don't start to think more positively, my life will turn out like this. Imagine then in a few weeks, in a few months, maybe a year, and I don't necessarily think more positively. Then all of those words that you've encouraged yourself subconsciously to believe they will start to manifest themselves. By me not being more positive, then I'll think, yeah, I'm not positive, and I'll start self-sabotaging to make my life worse because I've said then my life will not be good. So it's things like that that I've also subconsciously programmed my own mind to. And it's not weird that you sometimes like get stuck in loops. Like when you listen to yourself speak, you'd probably point out some of these things to other people if they'd ask you to, what am I saying wrong? Coach me. But when it's you, for some reason you accept it. And it should be reversed. You should be more open with other people, less like give out less criticism to other people, but be very critical and skeptical to yourself. Like, and that is also another reason why it's so good to write out things on paper, physical papers, and stick to them, because then your mind can't try to fool yourself. Because if you've said one thing in your head, it's just in your head. Your mind, your brain can make up whatever. It can pretty much make you believe that you never thought of it to begin with, even though you did, or reverse. If you've never thought of it, you can make yourself believe that you've thought it before. The brain, the mind is such a scary. There as well, scary. Why is it scary? Because it has immense power to do self-inflicting bad mass destruction to the world. But why is it scary? It can also do plenty of good things. You can have an amazing life. You can provide with great energy to the world. Yeah, that's true. Right now, when I'm speaking in this video, this is not a video to necessarily motivate anyone. This is more so, I don't know, a philosophical rambling where I'm dwelling into my own head, my own mind, without any real conclusion. Like, I'm concluding every now and then, after a few months here and there. Every time you live, yeah, obviously. But the more you live, the more answers you get to certain questions. Some answers will never be resolved. Some answers will just be what they are. They'll always remain. Or maybe they won't. Who knows? I don't. But I think it's important to have these conversations and these topics with yourself sometimes, because it allows you to, one, find out who you really are and what you want. Two, it allows you to analyze yourself and, like I just said now, reject your thoughts. It allows you to be more comfortable with yourself. But that's also another thing that I've recently come to think of, or I'm not gonna take credit for this, but I've started to pick up religion a bit more again. And I'm not going to say that I'm 100% in a state of belief in God Almighty, and I'm not saying this in any disrespectful or sarcastic or ironic way at all. I'm just saying that, is he up there? I don't know. Nonetheless, I know that religion provides guidance that you need in this day and age. Like, let's go back to my relationship with my, I suppose you could say, ex now. Like, I mean, sure, there do exist girls like her, it does, but it's very rare nowadays. And the same way, you that are watching this video, you like yes, you, I'm talking to you, literally you that is watching this video right now, you, my dear friend. Like, there are not a lot of people like you and like me, because you would not be watching this video from me if you were like everyone else. And that's not necessarily to say that society is bad just because there aren't a lot of people like us, because there are some people that are just thinking deeper, like intrinsically. Some people just have deep thoughts. Some people just see things from a different perspective. Some people just feel things or see things that others don't. Like, some things, and I don't know if this is normal or not, but sometimes, especially when I get my episodes of like detachment or disassociation or whatnot, like I see everything like so much clearer. I just objectify everything. Like, I see a person and it's like I can see into their soul. I can see what type of person they are, what this person is. It's almost like I reference it to like magical creatures, like animals or ogres or elves or trolls or like spiritual things, like energies, plant, like it's so weird. I don't even know how to put it into words. But now I've drifted away from the topic a bit. What I was about to say is, yes, by sitting with yourself, one, you get to analyze yourself and you become more comfortable. You get to know who you really are, what you really think and believe. But the contradiction with that is, by being too much of yourself, that takes you away from God. That takes you away from submission. By accepting that you simply are a vessel. This is a vessel, this is a soul. A soul, an energetic being. I'm an energetic being. But the more I individualize myself, the more I distance myself from God. The more flat I am, the more non-unique I am, the more I empty my vessel, the closer I come to God. And that's another thing that I've thought about today. I entered some sort of trance, just laying in the sun. And it's so weird. It's not lucid dreaming, it's just a different feeling. Feeling of bliss, feeling of, like, I don't know if severe is the right word, but extreme tranquility. Like, imagine stillness, tranquility, bliss. An eternal feeling of just life, simply life. That's how I felt. And I was like, it's so hard to explain, but that's how I felt. And at that moment, I just felt like this, there's this stoic word, sympatheia or something like that, being one with the universe, how small you are compared to the universe, but how everything is intertwined and connected. So like how I am connected with the grass that I was laying down on, and how the grass is connected to the dirt, and how the dirt are connected to the ants that are crawling, and how the ants are connected to the sand on the other side of where I was laying, and how the woman with her dog walking by is connected to the grass, and how everything is connected and how everything is one, essentially, but how we as individuals are so small in comparison to the wholeness, to the oneness, if that makes sense. Yet we're one at the same time. I don't know. Yet again, no real conclusion with this, but Like, if you want to have children someday, at some point in your life, then, in my honest opinion, I think it's your responsibility to make sure that you are capable of having children, that you are capable of guiding them, that you don't suffer from too much mental illness, because that mental illness will pass on to your children as well, even if you want it or not, even if you think you can handle it or not. That is something that you need to resolve before getting children. Whether it is that you're able to identify everything, you're able to condense all of these traumas and either just let them go or contain them inside you and tame them as simple feelings, events that have happened, and be able to like tap into them to like access a certain energy inside your head or inside your body, like simply to like gather it and channel it for your benefit. Whatever it is, you just need to control it. Whether it is controlling it, and like I mean truly being in control of it, like taming it. Like, let's say the same way you're able to breathe, the same way you're able to do a push-up when you want to do a push-up. You need to be able to compartmentalize that and access it when you want to and shut it off when you don't want to. You can't let this thing inside here, this hand, you can't let that affect your life. You can't let that pollute your thoughts, your beliefs. Like, you need to have this here contained. Or you can just let it out. It's up to you. Letting it out, that's one thing. That's pretty much what would happen if you're going to therapy and you're just talking about it, you're just letting it out, you're dwelling over it. How did that make you feel? Oh yeah. Sooner or later, maybe you'll have let it out. But until then, you're just dwelling over the same thing and you're just giving more energy to the same seed, essentially. To the same, you're creating a like therapy, speaking about certain things depending on how you speak about it. I've never been to therapy, mainly because it feels shameful to go to therapy, and that's really why I haven't done it, because most things that a therapist can analyze into me, I'll be able to analyze myself, as long as I have the stillness and the like required tools. And the only real tool you need is your mind and not too much noise. So like the absence of tools, if that makes sense. And obviously having some intellect helps, because then you're able to evaluate your thoughts, your questions, you're able to ask yourself questions. And that's the benefit with going to a therapist, if they're good, because then they'll be able to ask you the right questions that lead you in the right direction to find these answers that you might have not found for yourself. But I feel like the majority of things I found for myself. I'm not gonna say everything, but a bit. And there's still some things that I haven't resolved. There's still some things that if someone were to take it up to me, like it trigger emotion in me and I wouldn't know how I'd react. Whereas some other things I've contained, I've come to acceptance with it, I can tap into it. Some things I've let go, some things are still within me, but I contain it. Like, it's very dependent on what it is and at what stage in my life I was when it happened, and how I processed it at the time, or if I processed it after, if I've tried to like essentially just förtränga det. What fuck heter det? Like, if I've just tried to push it away, like not wanting to think about it earlier in my life or something like that, if I just try to not get rid of it, but the word for when it's too much to think of it or think about, so you just push it away and essentially run from it instead of processing it, and then like you start forgetting about it. That word, I can't remember the word for it. in English, but I think you get what I mean. So it's, yeah. But then another thing, like, by just being in motion and acting on other stuff, that also allows you to not sit with these things and create a ground for bad thoughts. So that is one way you could do it, but sooner or later, like, you need to be able to sit with yourself and thoughts and process them. I'm not saying do it like overly much, because it's not worth it. You're not making any money out of it, and you're not becoming happier by doing it. So why would you? Yeah, sure, you might become a bit wiser, you might be able to think a bit deeper, you might start feeling more congruent, like you might feel a more coherent self, and that reflects outwards as well. But besides that, like, you don't need to overdo it. But if you're at the age of, I don't know, between 15 and 30, honestly, or 15, 22, like, you need to be able to sit with your thoughts and by yourself. Like, I know a lot of people who are just distracted, both guys and girls, who never sit with their thoughts, who, like, they can't sit with their thoughts. They just try to run from it. Either they pick up their phone and they start scrolling on whatever social media they have, or they're just out with other people and they try to fill some void by distracting themselves with other people. And I'm not saying don't meet people. Meeting people is super good, but make sure that those people are actually people you want to be with, not just people that you're meeting to get rid of this void that you have inside of you, if that makes sense. Because then you might as well just sit with your own thoughts, figure yourself out, become a wiser person or something like that. But now this video has been going on for 37 minutes 35 seconds. The thing about these videos is it feels so natural. It just comes to me, like, it doesn't feel like work. And that's one thing that I love about this, and that I really appreciate. And I hope someone can get something out of this, because another thing, I for a long time wondered, how am I going to make money? Should I make money through this mean, that mean, that's this mean, this mean or that, or maybe this, or maybe combine these or these or these, or yeah, you know. But one thing I've realized now is whenever I sit like this and I just talk for extended amounts of time, I have no intention of selling anybody anything. And the only reason that I'm talking like this, which feels so nice to say, but my only reason, like genuinely my only reason why I'm sitting like this and talking like this, is because instead of just sitting for myself and thinking aloud, maybe, hopefully, someone else can learn something from my thoughts. Maybe just one epiphany is all you need to change your life. I don't know if you want to watch a lot of videos, like continuously video after video. If that's you, then maybe start doing something else with your life, because watching these videos are not going to help. But I know personally, like for me, there can be these videos like once every 3 months, half year, every year, that you watch like one random video that has a few hundred views, or maybe it has a few 100,000 even. Nonetheless, it isn't that famous of a video. It isn't from that of much of a famous person. that can just change your entire perspective about something and just make you realize something. Or it can be a book. And that's why books are so great, because it allows you and it forces you to sit with the text that you're reading. By watching a video, you're not forced to actually pick it up. You can just passively listen, and sure, that's great. But if you want to like actively acquire information, then reading is the best thing you can do. Like reading physical books, not reading on a screen digitally, although that is good. Like reading a physical book, holding the book, nothing else. It's just, I don't know, might be something with that you're holding the book, that is the only thing you're doing. You're intentionally doing that and nothing else. Maybe you could apply the same like mindset and information acquiring on a digital screen as well. I don't know. But for me, like physical books, they beat everything else. Although I can still passively read, if I just read through, yeah, sure, I can still do that. But even when I do that, it still sticks into my subconscious. So that's, for example, if I don't have anything worthwhile doing like in that specific moment, although that doesn't happen a lot nowadays anymore, or now it does, like right now, but for the past while it hasn't really happened. There was a small period where it did a few years ago, and then I remember I could just pick up books and I could like read them faster. But then if there's something that has like way more importance, then I'd go back to it. Certain chapters, certain things, like there you'd spend active time reading. But yeah, now I've diverted from the main topic again, if there even is a main topic. But yeah, your thoughts. What you think will manifest itself into reality. If you think you will be the best, you will be the best, but you really need to think it and you really need to believe it. And trust me, this is not something that I'm saying just because I've read Think and Grow Rich. I'm not. Think and Grow Rich has just opened up my eyes because I realized it is so true. And it goes with pretty much anything in life. Relationships, friendships, like, yeah, relationships overall, with business, with especially investing. I'm telling you, investing, like, and the thing with emotion, like, things only stick with emotion. And that's the same thing here in Think and Grow Rich. They said you need to like visualize, you need to put your thoughts into your head with emotion. You need to like see it all and feel it with emotion, because that's the only way for yourself to convince yourself that it is true, that it is happening, that it is reality. And it is so correct, because it's the same thing with investing. You can see someone say something about a specific topic about trading and whatnot. They could be the best. Let's say you have a mentor or whatnot. They guide you through everything step by step. Sure, it helps out a lot having that. I've never had it. And if I'd had it, I'd see success so much faster. But that's also a bit of the problem, because you don't get that emotion. Like, that certain lessons will not stick with you. Like, I'm telling you, and it is crazy to say, because I could have paid off this entire apartment with that money, but I've lost more money than I think most of my peers in school has made in their life. And it is crazy to say, but I've lost so much money. Obviously I've made some as well, but like by losing that much money, certain things just sticks. And that's another thing. Now I'll divert from the topic again, but dopamine and different baselines and all of that. With investing, let's say you've reached 100,000. After you've reached 100,000 and lost 90,000, 10,000, instead of being grateful for 10,000, 10,000 will feel like nothing. And you will start to strive for those 100,000 again. But by doing so, you have the wrong mindset, because you will not approach it the same way you did when you went from 10,000 to 100,000, or 0 to 10,000, or however you did it. Then you'll instead think, I need to make back 90k. But the way you make 90k is the same way you make 9k. It's the same way you make 5k. The only difference is, depending on where you make your money in investing, how you make your money in investing, which avenue, what instrument you're trading, investing, your entire approach, there are certain things that limits you. Depending on what industry, there might be much more lucrative opportunities for you to take advantage of if you have smaller capital, but way less liquidity, for example. Some things are not as scalable. Some things are way more scalable, but also has more risk to it. Some things can be very passive, yet very scalable, very lucrative if you have a lot of money. But if you don't have money, it's not lucrative. So you need to weigh in different aspects. But overall, that's also a dangerous belief, that thinking you need to make it back. You need to make it back, because that's not how it works. And I don't even know how I got into that. But yeah, it's gonna be so interesting seeing where I am in a few years. And to the people that are subscribed to this channel right now, like, you have my utmost gratitude, like genuine gratitude, for watching these videos. Like, you don't understand how much it means to me, but I've seen some people comment on like some of my previous videos, and I'm very sorry if I don't remember the exact names, but I just want each and every one of you that likes these videos, that comments on these videos, that you mean so much more to me than you can imagine, even though I don't know you. Your likes and your comments mean so much more than money. Crazy to say, but that is something that I genuinely mean. And obviously, if I could choose one or the other, then I'd still choose money. But like, you see in some comments, like, it is different feelings. It is different feelings. It can't be compared with money. But yeah, guard your thoughts. Don't do dumb shit. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Think positively. Don't listen to rap music. Rap music is diluting your head. I'm guilty to doing it as well. But it is diluting your thoughts. It's diluting your head. It's diluting your process. Don't eat like trash, fast shit food. It's also slowing you down mentally, physically, both of them quite literally. Like, if you know how much shit there is just to program you to become slower, program you to be less, you'd look at the world from a different perspective. Food to poison you, like rules about money and taxes simply for you to make it less. Like, and it doesn't even require that much knowledge just to step up. Like, that's the fun thing. Like, just do some basic. Now AI is so accessible as well. So you can just go into GPT-5, costs $25 per month. With those $25, you can do whatever you want. Whatever you want. You can learn whatever you want. Just learn to ask the right questions. Pick up a book. Start sitting with your thoughts a bit more. Think positively, and you can achieve whatever you want. You can learn whatever you want. You can feel however great you want. You don't need to ever feel slow, unmotivated, or need to rely on motivation. Again, just like the barrier to become above average is so minimal now because everyone are the same except the outliers. Like, there is no in between anymore. It's just either you're here or you're up here. It's so like, and yeah, sure, I'm not the richest person on the planet right now. So from someone seeing me from the outside, I don't wear too fancy shit. I don't really speak to random people that I don't know in that way. I don't really have socials for that matter. Maybe I should get. But on the outside looking at me, I look like an average person. But that's another thing. Thoughts. Just need to manifest it and it will turn into actual reality. But I'm already up here in the outliers. Like, of the greats, so to say. Like, way up there. But then again, individuality, God. Who am I without God? I don't know. Maybe this is just my ego talking. Or maybe this is my humility saying this because I don't want to sound too narcissistic about me being an outlier up here, because that might take away from the purpose of this video. I don't know. That's something that I might need to sort out outside of this video as well. But now we've been going for 52 minutes and 30 seconds, so I think it's about time to chop this up, and I'll catch you some other time.